So now we're going to go into QuickBooks and open up the program and start a new file. After you've downloaded and installed QuickBooks, you'll go to your desktop and you'll see this green icon. Depending on which version of QuickBooks you have, if you have Enterprise, you might see a slightly different icon. It might be blue. But for Pro and Premier, you will see this green icon. And depending on which edition you have installed, for the Premier edition, an example, I have Accountants Edition 2014, you'll see it's labeled whatever the edition is. So we're going to double click on the icon. And it should come to this No Company Open screen, especially if this is the first time you've opened QuickBooks. And in most cases, you're not going to have existing files listed here. So again, we're going to start as if you've never used QuickBooks. We're going to start and create a brand new company file. We want to click on New Company, and there's a couple different options here. We're going to choose the Express option. This is going to give just the basic starting of the company. Let's just type in sample company as the name. The industry, now this is interesting. If you start, there's not a drop down there, but if you start typing in something similar to the type of work that you do, you'll see that it'll start showing and filtering out different types of industries. For example, if we choose a construction general contractor, what it's going to do is give you preset accounts based on what QuickBooks and the developers said is a foundation of accounts that you're going to use. Next is what company type are you? Are you a sole proprietor? Are you a partnership, LLP, LLC, multi-member or single member, corporation, S corporation, nonprofit, or other? Usually in the US, you're one of the first several. The other or none might be somebody that's out of the country that doesn't have the same organizational setup as US companies do. You'll want to put your, let me pick one, I'll do an S corporation. You'll want to put your tax ID number. This will help you not only have it in a place where you can access it frequently, but it'll also allow you to run payroll in QuickBooks. You need to have your EIN in there in order to do that. So let's just put in, I think that's enough. Put in a tax ID number and continue on. Do you have employees, yes or no? We're going to go ahead and say yes because that's going to allow us to have some of these features turned on. Then we're going to go down and click on continue. You can fill in the rest of the information, your address. This would be your company address. A zip code, I'm just going to put in 12345. You'll see that it's a required field. And then a phone number. I'll go ahead and put my number in there. And your email and website. Now, if you don't have this information or if you don't enter in it initially, you can go back and put it under the My Company information a little bit later, which we'll cover that. Now, you'll also see at the bottom, depending on your resolution, you may not be able to see this little bottom button. Again, this also might be something to do with the new version of QuickBooks 2014. They might not have all of the screen resolution perfect yet. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this getting started. And there should be a start working. You might see a start working. Actually, there's a scroll bar down there. You'll see a start working. You can go ahead and click on start working. QuickBooks likes to have this usage study. The first time you start a QuickBooks file, you'll see that there's a usage study. We're going to say no. Although we want to improve QuickBooks, we don't want it to be part of our test today. And we're going to go ahead and close the Quick Start Center and go right into what we see as the navigation in QuickBooks. The purpose of this is really to get you comfortable, not only just to create that company file, but also to get you comfortable with what you're seeing on your screen. I'm going to go over some key components to the desktop here. First of all, we have the title bar at the top, which is this blue bar. We have the menu bar, which is the bar right below that. We have this icon bar here on the left-hand side, and then we have our home screen. This home screen is primarily in 5 sections. You'll see that we have the vendor section, which has enter bills and pay bills. We have the customer section, which is sales orders, estimates, invoices, statement charges, receive payments, create sales receipts, refunds and credits. Down here we have the employee section, which since payroll is not turned on in this particular file, the only thing that we have is the enter time and turn on payroll. Over under the company section, we have chart of accounts, items and services, we have web and mobile apps, QuickBooks financing, and calendar. Then under the banking, we have record deposits, write checks, print checks, check register, and reconcile. There's a couple different ways that we can view your icon bar. First of all, on the left-hand side, this is how, for 2 years, QuickBooks has listed the icon bar. But we like to look at things maybe a little bit differently. Sometimes you want to look at it the way you used to look at it. I know I have a lot of clients, and including myself, that like the older view, if you have been using QuickBooks, like the older view of seeing it on the top. So under View, if you don't want it to see this on the left-hand side, you can click on the top icon bar. And for this portion of the lesson, I'm going to use the top icon bar because that's where it was for many, many, many years. Right now, we can customize the icon bar at the top by clicking on View, Customize Icon Bar. You can also right-click on the icon bar. There's a couple different ways you can access it, but we'll click on View and Customize Icon Bar. Now, right now, there's several different icons on here that is really sales tactics for QuickBooks, for Intuit, I should say. For example, adding payroll, adding credit card, services, adding licenses. All of these are not going to help you in your day-to-day tasks, so we're going to eliminate some of these extra icons on here. Starting with Google search, which is, there's so many up here, it's right off the screen under this little double arrow. We're going to start deleting these. And as I start deleting these, you'll see them start to go disappear on the top. You'll start seeing them go away. So we're going to go, since we'll be using a different company file for some of these other features later, we'll delete, so at least I can see a couple, I can add a couple custom icons up at the top. Click on OK. Now there's two ways to add icons. The first way is fairly simple. It's going to the same Customize Icon Bar that we just went on. So click on Customize Icon Bar. We want to add a new icon, and I'm going to add the calculator, which is the Windows calculator, but we're going to add the icon. We'll click on Calculator, and you'll see that it shows a picture of a calculator. It shows the label of a calculator and the description calculator. Click on OK. Now you'll see the calc is up there. If you were to click on cancel right now, although it looks like it's saved, it's still not going to save it. So you definitely want to click on the OK. The second way to add an icon would be more what I call a task-driven icon, meaning what is it that you do on an everyday basis, because not every person that uses QuickBooks does the exact same thing or does everything in QuickBooks. Sometimes you have a salesperson, as an example, that needs sales reports or needs just a sales order. Maybe they're just doing estimates and sales orders, and you don't want to have the income tracker as an example, or the calendar, or the company snapshot. You don't want to have all those extra icons on there, so you can make it more driven for what they do. In that case, we want to do custom icons, icons that are not available as a preset icon, but that are driven by what it is that you're doing. As an example, let's say that you go to the chart of accounts quite a bit. Maybe you just like to review on an overview what your balances are. So this might be a list that you want to appear on the icon bar. Once the window is open, you can simply click on View, and then you'll see where it says Add Chart of Accounts to Icon Bar. Now when you click on this, you'll notice that QuickBooks automatically abbreviated the label to the ACCNT, but it also has the mouse over tag, which is a description called Chart of Accounts. It is my suggestion to keep the label as short as you can, because you'll see that the longer the labels are, for example, Client Review, Statement Writer, the longer those are, the more space that it takes up on your icon bar. So we'll click on OK, and also you can customize to whatever icon you want. So maybe you want the chart of accounts to be this cloud with a little sun in it. You can click on OK, so now you'll see that icon that you just created, and if you want to come quickly to that list, you can simply click on Account and it'll go right to your chart of accounts. And that concludes the setup and navigation of QuickBooks.